Views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Good yawning this morning and welcome back to Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, your station for fresh news, smart talk all day. It's Thursday, the 12th of December, 2024, and you are on the clock with Erin, Greene, and I am out of sorts because my producer ain't playing no Junkanoo music this morning. Is that an omen, producer? You ain't playing no Junkanoo music for me? Or is that a warning? Did somebody say, don't be playing no Junkanoo music for people who ain't no real Junkanoo?
Junkanoo cancel.
What you mean it cancel?
Tell you
Who said cancel?
Watch.
Did Basil Dean say it cancel?
No, that's a different type of announcement.
I thought it's only three things it could cancel Junkanoo.
What are the three things?
Basil Dean, an act of war, and God. That's it. God come down and say, look here, y'all wasn't behaving well this year. No Junkanoo for y'all. That's it. Only three things could cause Junkanoo to cancel.
Now we're learning there's a fourth thing.
What's that?
I'll set up a story. There are a group of individuals. Let's call these group of individuals Junkanoos. There are thousands of Junkanoos who believe the Junkanoo parade. When I say Junkanoo parade, I mean Boxing Day parade
And New Year's parade.
And New Year's Day parade. It belongs to them. Junkanoo itself, when you're having the rush outs and in the culture, that belongs to the Bahamian people. But the two parade for New Providence, that belongs to those who cut and paste and who design costumes. Junkanoo belongs to them, the parade itself. They are vested, and if you don't paste, and you don't go in the shack, you cannot say anything happening on those parades.
That's why, I ask you a question now, is that why in that Junkanoo production, they had that line, if only a real Junkanoo could understand the beat of the drum?
Only a real Junkanoo can understand the beat of the drum.
That may be why I didn't go and see it, Mr. Nuri. Like, that was a problematic, like a fundamentally problematic line, right, in the script of that play for me. Because what you mean, only, like, when you say it, right, only a real Junkanoo could understand the beat of the drum. In and of itself, it seems cool, you know. In and of itself, it seems fine, you know. Like, it makes sense, you know. Only a real Junkanoo could understand the beat of the drum. But to me, it means only a person who has Junkanoo in their heart could understand the beat of the drum. It appears now from the actions that we're seeing from the Junkanoo community that they mean them. They mean if you ain't one of them.
If you ain't one of us.
If you haven't been accepted into the clique.
If you're not a part of who we is.
If you ain't matriculated into the gang.
If you ain't invested in being inside the shack 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, you can't understand. You cannot comment, or you cannot push back and demand what happens at the parade.
I hear what you're saying, but it sounded more to me like if you are not prepared to subject yourself to whatever it is we say is the rite of passage to be a Junkanoo, then that's on you, right? But my question is, who Junkanoo belong to and who it for?
Junkanoo, because you look like you hard of hair, my love.
I said who it belong to and who it for.
I explain that again. Junkanoo belongs to the Bahamian people. However, the Junkanoo parade belongs to Junkanoos.
Okay, so then let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Who does the glory belong to in the competition? Who does the glory belong to? Does it belong to the members of the group? Does it belong to the supporters of the group? or does it belong to the leaders of the group?
I see where you're going there. And I'll conclude this. In certain groups, only the leader matters. They say where the money's spent. They say who they perform for. They say who get the crate paper and the trick and the tricks. Only the leader matters. They say who they allow into the inner circle. The general body or participants or who claim they are group members does not have a say at all. It's not their group. You just happen to have the privilege to rush.
So how much money as a Junkanoo in a group do I have to invest? How much resources, how much money, how much time do I have to invest to become somebody in the group?
You may never become somebody into the group. The ownership, the privilege of running the group is for the leaders. And the members must capitulate and follow. And they know that. They're prepared to that. And so also are the supporters. Your job is to support. Everyone have their role. Your job is to cheer us on. The Junkanoo's job is to rush. And the leader's job is to do whatever they want.
I hear you. I understand what you're saying. I don't like it, Mr. New York. I would like to hear what this caller is saying before I respond to you.
Caller knows too.
Good morning, caller.
Erin, and good morning, Mr. Neary.
Good
Morning.
to you.
You know, Erin, I can throw you off topic a bit, right?
Okay.
I really want to send a shout out to two really good police officers. Yesterday, I got into an accident in the Kemp Road area.
Okay.
I'm hoping that they're listening or someone who knows them are listening. I didn't get their name.
All right.
They took care of me very well, I must say. And my husband was on his way to me, but because the traffic was so jammed up, he couldn't get to me. They went in their police truck and they brought him through the traffic with sirens blazing.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
They asked me to tell him pull aside where he was. They went, they met him, and they bring him to me. They bring him to me with the sirens.
Yeah.
And I really do appreciate them. They really helped me yesterday. So I
absolutely.
want to send a shout out to those two officers.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Thank you very
And they
much.
were young. They were very young. You can see they kind of knew
Yeah.
on the force.
Absolutely.
That
And
is caring.
and they use
Our officers, some of our officers still care about us.
yeah, man, they use their discretion within the scope of what they are permitted to do to assist someone on the road. I love it. Thank
Yeah.
you very much. And you say this was in the Camp Road area, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yesterday,
So-
about 3 o'clock.
They may have been assigned from the Wolf Road Police Station.
Might have been.
They may have been sent out there to you. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you.
It's good to hear a feel-good story about the police.
Yeah.
And,
Let,
you know.
let me tell you something that you would like to, just dead quick. A new bookshop is opening, Mr. Nuri.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, a new bookshop.
Where?
I can tell you right now.
And what type of books?
Books.
I mean, Bahamian books or just international books?
All kind of book, Bahamian and international. It's the new bookshop is called Rabble, Rabble, Rabble Bookshop. It is at Poinciana Paper Press. The opening is Saturday, day after tomorrow, Saturday, December 14th, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Does it open up every day?
Well, this is the grand opening.
Or is it grand opening?
Yeah, this is like the grand
Do you
opening.
have any food?
I should hope so. I really
You
hope
know
so.
if they have a grand opening, if I should come, I need to know if they have at least crackers.
I can write them a letter because they like read. I can write them a letter and tell them, please have snacks.
I'll come in and talk if they want me to talk and promote it on my page, but they need to have snacks.
Yeah. And you have plenty book.
Yeah.
That's why I tell it. That's like I wait for the moment to tell you, like you hear, because you write books.
Okay.
Yeah. And some of your books should be in the bookstore.
Yeah, I could try some.
Yeah, like that. Look, I got another caller on the line before we get back to Junkanoo, because I got some suggestions from the public
About what?
about the Valley book. Caller, where you going, man?
Don't know. I want to hear what your suggestion. Don't worry. About
Okay.
it.
So,
What you mean suggestion to? I don't understand what you're talking about.
all right. So I stopped on Montague Ramp, and but then was talking about Junkanoo.
Okay.
And one of the cleanup guys, he had a brilliant idea.
And what was that brilliant idea he has?
He said that, he understand the why between the two factions,
Yes.
right? He understand the why. He said maybe the best producer, let's prep the caller, the best thing to do is to allow both groups, both the Way Forward and the World Famous, to compete in the A group. Let the Bahamian public be the judge of which faction should lead the Valley Boys into the future.
You want cause, I mean, I like it, but you want cause chaos.
But I mean, look here.
But that was something to bet on, eh? To sit down and say, okay, which one is the better one, and we will yield.
Right.
I believe my craft is that good that I'm willing to risk it all.
Producer, let's go to the caller. I will know how they feel about that idea. And it could be crafted, right? It could be curated for that to be a mini competition within the competition. Good morning, caller.
Morning, Erin, Greene. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How you do?
Chief Sting and Goat Skin. Now, we can do this format like I've been doing all week. For me to come on and tell you what I thinking, it'll take long, and then you can say, oh, we got other callers, I got to go. You and Nuri on the Jonkunu World, ask me any question about Jonkunu. You all want to ask me, and I will answer you to the best of my ability.
And let me put the
Honestly,
question to you. I can
Go
put the
ahead.
question to you. A number of Bahamians are saying they want a competition. They want both Jonkunu factions to compete for the name. That this December 26th, both of them will rush, and whoever the Jonkunu judges say won between them two will now have the title name of the Valley Boys.
And
What do
you
think about
got
that?
to have a public vote too. The
That is a fallacy. That what you're talking about is a fantasy. That's a fallacy.
I don't want to
Because
talk
by
to you
the
no more.
16th,
I don't want to talk to you
hopefully
no
by the 16th, the name will be adjudicated in the court of law.
Okay, that's good. That's good. I don't have a key to the court of law. If we don't have to go into the court of law, why would we go into the court of law?
But the problem is, Erin,
Yeah.
the problem is we could talk about something else because it's already there. Because the next question.
I just want y'all to know what the Bahamian people want. See, I want the Junkanus to be prepared, right? Because the Bahamian people want Junkanu. Hold on. They need. See how we don't even want to talk to me no more. They need Junkanu.
Yeah.
And I
want some other callers get in.
I got you.
Ask your questions, rapid question.
That's the question there. That's the only question there.
That's the question.
Robert.
Would the faction of the Valley Boys that you are a part of be open to this decision being made by the Bahamian people on Boxing Day in a rush out?
Yes. The Bahamian people will make that decision in any event, whether the court says, well, even if we retain the name through the courts of the Valley, if we go to Bay Street and we perform not like the Valley, in the court of public opinion, the Bahamian people will make that decision. Now, Nuri, you said something, you're kind of incorrect. You said that the Jonkunu belongs to the Bahamian people on Bay Street. It belongs to the groups. No, sir. The groups are only a snippet of the Bahamian people to perform the Jonkunu parade, but the Jonkunu parade still belongs to each and every one of us.
Thank you. See, I think I get in a sense of what the problem is, Nuri.
Go ahead.
In this town, we don't have a good sense of what it means to be in charge of something. We don't know what it means to have the authority to do, right? Who owns Junkanu? Nobody could own Junkanu. No particular generation of Africans in the Bahamas could own Junkanu. No specific or singular generation of Bahamians could own Junkanu. No single season of Junkanu could own Junkanu. But there are those who step forward to be stewards and stakeholders of Junkanu. And what does that mean? Does it mean you own it? Or does it mean that you have taken on the responsibility for protecting it as long as it is within your hands?
If there is an issue that happens on Bay Street, right, regarding Jonkunu, who am I as a public, as a spectator, as a tourist, as a Jonkunu?
Yeah.
Who am I to appeal to?
You're supposed to go to the BNJC, Bahamas National Junkanu Committee.
Yes. And say what? That something happened to me and
Yeah.
I need recourse?
Yeah.
Okay. If I say there is no proper lighting, who do I go to that same organization?
That's where I would go.
Yeah.
That's where I would start. See, that's where I would
I'm
start.
trying to find out who owns the parade or whose mandate it is to make sure that the parade comes into fruition.
What? That's a great point. Let's start there. Who has legal responsibility attached to the parade? But let's go to the caller first, and when we get back, I think that's a good place to start. Good morning, caller.
Morning, Erin. How are you and the clothes?
I'm good, thank you.
Listen, that idea of letting the public choose, that will sell plenty tickets. Because now you're making me feel like going, because that's the only way I could voice my opinion at that time, by cheering them on. And those who get the crowd swinging, let them get the name.
Mm-hmm.
Because I like that just motivates me to buy a ticket, and I haven't been to John Canoe in about 20 years. I watch it on TV.
Yeah, I think...
Now I already feel, I read that the drums already started me now, because now I got a voice in it by showing up and just cheering them on when my group, the one pass, what I think doing the best.
Mm-hmm.
So that would sell, if you have that competition between them two right there, that will sell the tickets for John Canoe for the Boxing Day. Mark my word.
I think...
You have the old, the dumb, the crippled, and all them out there, because they won't pull for, especially them in the valley.
Yeah.
They won't have their voice heard or seen.
Absolutely. And
That's a good idea.
Thank you. I can tell the boy that, listen, this idea came from Montague Ramp.
Okay. See?
Yeah. Sometimes
you learn a lot. You learn a lot when you give the public input.
Yeah.
The people who run it, they ain't got much brains, you know. Some of them don't even rush. They never rush in their life.
Oh, wow.
And they don't know how to pace. They don't know. But I rushed one time in college.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been, but I'm going to, from the time I was about 4. When this generation don't know about when the two groups used to pass one another by John Bull and right up in there, and they beat them drums and poison them drums and thing like that.
Mm-hmm.
So the one who could rock the crowd, whatever they want, give it to them and let that next day change their name. That's all.
Thank you.
That's a fair way to do it.
Absolutely. I think it's a great idea, man. I think it's a way to naturally bring people back to John Canoe. And I think it highlights this thing that is unspoken, right? Like, who it for? When do I get a say? Just as a spectator, as well as a practitioner. And yet, my little scrap group is a real scrap group, right? I have great concerns about the evolution of John Canoe, and that we, the people, don't seem to have an equitable way to engage this process.
And I like that part. And again, I want to know whose responsibility is it to make sure all of these different factions are able to plug themselves into. Because I understand that there's something called the parade management team that manages. But who commissioned them? Like, who's that overarching body commission you to assist us in having a John Canoe cultural parade?
Oh.
Who's that overall body?
Where can we find the regulations or provisions that construct the body, right? That tell the body what it is that they're supposed to do.
Yes. Let's say something falls short with the JCNP. Mm-hmm. Is there an overarching body that say, okay, let's create a new one. Let's commission a new one. Because that person is responsible for John Canoe. Or that thing, that entity is responsible for John Canoe. And to make sure that all of these different plug-in, it's working
everything
properly.
Aligns. Yes. It's cohesive. Good morning, caller.
Greene, I told you, Nuri, instead of asking yourself the questions, ask me. That's what I call for.
You bias. Listen, you. I am acknowledging your expertise, right? As an experienced John Canoe. I'm acknowledging the value of the information you bring as someone who is a part of one of the factions of the group. But you kind of bias?
Well, what I said, that was biased earlier.
No.
He asked who owned John Canoe.
Okay.
I said the Bahamian people.
But you say, who owned John Canoe on Bay? Who owned Bay? Who owned Bay?
The base, it's a partnership, Erin, with the government and the JCNP to manage the parade, the smooth operation of the parade. I want to know who's
managing the parade now. I want to know who's responsible to make sure John Canoe works.
It's a partnership between the government and the JCNP to make sure the parade goes smooth. The JCNP can't get the people on the road if the government don't say, okay, the road closed today. If the government don't say, okay, we got to put up the floodlights, we got to put up the bleachers, we got to put up the railings, when we need to employ the police. It's a partnership. I'm not biased.
Who pays for the porta potty?
I'm a very honest person.
No, I didn't know. You missing the point. The point is that where you are located in the conversation creates a natural bias. That's why when we're talking about gender issues, you're right, when we're talking about LGBTI rights issues, I remind people that it's obvious that where I am located in the conversation creates.
Yeah, but Erin, what you're doing is preempting something. Yes, I am a Valley boy, but that don't mean I cannot be an impartial judge on this radio.
No.
That is what I am.
But before you go, who constitutes the parade management team?
The JCNP and the governing, their partners, the government. But what has been happening in the last several years, the PMT team was being picked solely by the JCNP, and the Ministry of Youth wasn't putting in their man or their woman of business. And that's why it gives them the hand now.
That sounds like the
so they have to
JCNP
revert
owns
back
Junkanoo.
to the contract, huh?
It sounds like the JCNP owns Junkanoo.
No, they don't. They're charged with the smooth management of the parade. The Bahamian people own Junkanoo.
But tell the Bahamian people, tell the JCNP stop. Let's see what happens.
Okay, here's a question. Before you go, since you say the decision the JCNP has brought to the table, that they are prepared to ban Junkanoo, no Junkanoo for Boxing Day parade, right?
Yes, ma'am.
When the decision was made, did the representatives of the Junkanoo groups at the table, the A groups and the B groups that comprise the JCNP, did any of them indicate in the meetings where the decisions were taking place, that they had a process of going to their membership and asking their membership to make a decision, to vote on whether they are prepared?
The members have no say.
I asked you that. I asked if that happened, if any group at the table indicated as a part of their contribution to the discussion that we went to our membership, we took a vote, here is what the vote was.
There's no democracy in
Erin Greene, that's a brilliant question. That's a brilliant question, and I'm glad you asked it, because that's one of the questions I figured you would have asked me. The answer to that is no. What the group leaders who are part of the JCNP are doing, they are parading as if I could quote unquote say a union. But the problem is they are actually not a Junkanoo union. They are individual group members
you said that yesterday.
that signed on to assist the JCNP in the smooth operation of the parade, but their contractual agreement as 20 group members is directly with them and the government. They don't go to the JCNP.
You trying to say there's a contract the group signed with government?
Yes, that in order to get their seeds money, and the contract states when you get the public money, we need you to put on a parade, and that is done individually with the government, not through the JCNP as their bargaining body.
Okay.
And it's not done that way.
I hear you.
That's
on
fascinating.
the 16th, we soon find out what
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Let's go to the next one quickly.
Let's go to the next caller, producer. I think that the JCNP think they are the R.M. Bailey Park Vendors Association trying to be union. I mean, they're in the process. The R.M. Bailey Park Vendors Association is in the process of becoming unionized. That's the pursuit.
They want to strike against R.M. Bailey School so they can say they can come there and.
I hope they won't strike against the traffic. Good morning, caller. Good morning, caller.
So this is what I want to talk about, Erin. Imagine the Junkanoo leaders not even asking their membership. Remember, I say the Junkanoo is owned by the leaders, and then the members have no comment, no say in the direction. They can't pick the theme of what they rushing in. They can't say what music they're rushing in. All they got to do is capitulate. But imagine I spent $5, $10, $15, $20,000 on my costume, right? To rush on Bay on the 26th. And then the leader could say, well, we ain't rushing no more. Just like the last leader said, oh, we quit Junkanoo. I did not tell a soul. And he said, what you mean we quit? You don't have no say. I just tell you we quit. We quit. That means none of us can rush under this theme and banner because you do not matter. I own the group.
Watch me pick up my phone to call Trump and ask him if he could give me Putin's phone number. Because one thing could be happening on Boxing Day is Russian.
It'll be Russian. Some kind of Russian.
Some kind of Russian could take place. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Erin.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine. Good morning to Punuri.
Good morning.
I listened to my boy talk from the GNN. You know, I saw Brian Adley a couple of weeks ago. I tell you, for the sake of Junkanoo, come together and rush, man. Come January, you all could go in the group, and all the rest of the members signed So who will be the chairman? See, Erin, I spend millions of dollars in John Canoe. I thought a lot of people John Canoe. And we cannot let the politicians destroy John Canoe like the way they got the country mess it up. $2 billion worth of debt. My children, grandchildren can't buy land in this country. John Canoe is the only thing keep this country going. Not the so-called Christian Council, not the judges, not these people, you know. I really thought the Wally was better off than that. Let's call the assassin, oh, we smoke dope, we do this and we do that. The one family, Janice and all this group, and even Roos, got steering committees. Every 2 years, you have a new chairman. We cannot, hey, John Canoe, now you know how we carry on. Because the politicians know we ain't like the lousy union members. We'll shut this country down ASAP.
What you mean? Hold on, what you mean shut the country down?
We ain't got to rush.
I am prepared for there be no John Canoe.
No, I know what I did for John Canoe. I ain't getting right. See, these politicians, they only start coming on John Canoe because the good things the John Canoe people done. Keep all the gang bangers together. Keep all the girls together. Erin, I know what they're saying. You want please leave us alone. My boy, like you never worked in your life.
You saying that the government need to leave John Canoes alone?
Government, man. The rules are the rules. Yes, we know that.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. So let me ask you a question. See, you referenced that there are John Canoe groups, right, that are engaging their members in a different way. Every 3 years, the steering committee is changed, right?
Yes,
so
right.
when you say the government destroying John Canoe, right? I mean, no, let me rephrase that. When you suggest the government needs to stay out because the way that they engage is problematic, right?
Exactly.
Let me ask you a question. Why y'all John Canoes ain't policing other John Canoes? Why are you not protecting young John Canoes by going to the groups that are not operating in more transparent ways or in more equitable ways and say, what are you doing to the young people in your group? How come you can't see that you maintaining a plantation?
Erin, I hear you know, Erin.
Yeah.
Erin, you listen properly to what I saying. I did what I do, you know.
No,
I did my part, you know. See, the part of the matter is, every time behind people see people doing things good, oh, I can do that. See, I know the sacrifice that I did for my family. See, Erin, I know of what I say, you know.
Right, but you
This
see,
was in Swati land one time ago.
you step into your boys and saying to them, boy, look at the legacy that we are leaving. If we say we own this thing, if we say we are the kings, should we not be leaving a better legacy? Because see, when I go to them, I have to say, uncle. You see the difference? You could say,
Erin, I understand you, Erin.
Yeah.
Erin, say you and Mary can be little language savvy. I would say some things bad, but see, I got to stay focused.
I got you.
I got to stay focused because look here.
I got a question.
Okay, because
A lot of young people in this country, trust me, I know they're saying, you know. I know what I did for John Canoe. I know what I did. And see,
it's up to the valley.
The wise and do the John Canoe. Stand them home and give me the wise job. See, we got in this country, we got so much yes woman and man in this country than all these ministries. You know.
I have two questions for you. I have two questions.
Mary.
One question is, the first question is, who owns the John Canoe parade on Bay Street? Who's responsible? And say, well,
the groups own John Canoe parade on Bay Street.
not the Bahamian people.
All the groups.
Not the Bahamian people.
The Bahamian people are participants. The groups, the Wadi, the Saxon, the this and the that and that own the parade.
I just want you to say that. Now, this is my second question.
Participating, they buy the tickets, and all of them are fans. They buy our shakes and support us.
And this is my second question.
Go ahead.
You believe the majority of John Canoes are prepared to boycott John Canoe indefinitely in order to make sure that the government do not interfere?
Well, you know, I can try to keep a calm head, right? I wasn't advised them to do that simply because the money's
No, we ain't talking about the valley. We're talking about the JCNP and all the groups coming together to say they ain't rush it.
But they come together and make a statement to the government. Look here, man, you want to give us some, please.
No. See, you won't hear my question. They are prepared not to rush Boxing Day nor New Year's Day.
Yes, some. Trust me, I on the ground. Some prepared to do it as I speak.
And then some are prepared to rush.
Because the junglers know that we can talk the jungle. But the government, they only talk.
And you saying that some are prepared to rush.
Yeah, some are prepared to rush.
And do you believe, now the last question before you go, those people who refuse to rush Boxing Day and New Year's Day, should they return the money?
Well, they should. To be fair and honest. See, my hand clean. See, I demand. I don't know nonsense places, man. I don't believe in keeping $1 from the taxpayers. If you do wrong, you go to jail. 80% of members of the parliament, they ain't been in our parliament. They ain't declaring, they ain't doing nothing.
No, I thought
Thank
you
you.
said who boycott.
Thank you, caller. Thank you very, very much. I really appreciate your sentiment on that point. He say he ain't into keeping taxpayer money if he ain't using it, right?
Yes.
You know, a couple of people stopped me yesterday to show me a vibe. Say, yeah, prodigal sons, yeah, Greene. But watch this. And one person in particular said the work that the prodigal sons do in the community that they in, like Yellow Elder area, the person say the work that the boy and the team does with young people in the community. If the prodigal sons never rush on Bay, the money is still waited.
We have breaking news now. I can have Erin read that.
Oh, this is found on the Tribune News Network Facebook page. The 2024-2025 Junkanoo Parades will proceed as scheduled with only one Valley Boy faction competing in the A category. At a press conference today, it was confirmed that the Way Forward faction led by Trevor Davis is registered and recognized only as an uncompetitive group. JCNP Chairman Dion Miller said executives met with Davis's group last night.
So is he saying that the Davis group capitulated and said they will come rush as that, or they reiterating that's their point? They ain't allowing anything.
I don't see a reference to the Attorney General's office, a new statement, the old statement. I don't see a reference to the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture, a new statement, the old statement. I don't see a reference to a statement from the courts or a court ruling or a decision.
So
Is this only the JCNP speaking?
This is JCNP doubling down on their initial stance.
Oh, so Junkanoo could still be canceled.
So Junkanoo still could be canceled.
Okay, then.
Or they saying even if they come, they ain't prepared.
Now, I concerned producer, I noticed that you ain't playing no Junkanoo music my whole show.
And we got a call.
Good morning, caller.
Call again once.
Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Erin. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Okay, it seems as if the JCNP called the government's bluff.
Yes.
And
Hold on, what you mean call the government's bluff?
they called the government's bluff.
We have to wait and see what the government does. We don't know if they called their bluff yet.
No, they called the... By this time, somebody from the government would be saying something.
But remember the government said that
Anyway.
the government said that they thought the prudent thing to do was to act equitably until there is a final court adjudication.
Yeah, no, but basically, the JCNP called the government's bluff. Okay?
All right, so let me show you a why. You can't call a government's bluff. Only governments could call other governments' bluff.
No, you can't. See, okay, there is no other competing power in terms of government.
Do you know that the
Okay.
JCNP is a part of government, right?
Yeah, they are a part, and until legislation changes that,
They then are a part of government.
until legislation changes what the relationship is between the government and the JCNP, happens is the JCNP holds the cards. Anyway.
I mean, but they the government cards. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm a social advocate.
So we can continue. Go on.
Yeah. I'm a social advocate.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a human rights advocate. Every once in a while, I call myself a revolutionary. But one thing you need to know is that you can't call.
Let me explain what the caller was attempting to say.
Yeah.
The caller is saying that 7 minutes ago,
Yeah.
the JCNP is saying that they will allow the Davis group to rush. They just ain't plan to judge them. They can judge them as the F group, and said dare the government to say they doing anything contrary. They said they can ignore anything the government and the Attorney General and the Office of the Prime Minister them saying. They don't care about their authority at all. They will allow that group to come on bay, and they plan to ignore them. That's what the caller is saying.
Yeah, and that's what he thinks is calling the government. Here's my thing. I'm disappointed in these little petty wars. Like, y'all use up so much resources, so much energy, so much money to fight petty wars and to fight them poorly. You trying to win a war. You think you've won a battle. You lost the war in that moment. Like, and it's all in the language. I just want you all to know, for the sake of strategy, you can't call the government's bluff.
Williams just said they plan to let them rush and they plan to ignore the prime minister.
Because when you call the government's bluff, you become the government. That's the only way you could do this, by becoming the government.
They're saying they are the government.
Let me tell you something.
They're the government body.
I have two good Grammy. Right? Two good Grammy. One of them, Corinne Mitchell. She tell me, the Bahamas is a free to go home state. The Bahamas is a free to quit state. When you want the people job and you don't like the rules that you are beholden to, you have a choice. And that choice is to go home and do what you want, understanding that you can't do what you want on the people job. And that's an act of integrity, because you live in a free to quit state. Good morning, caller.
Okay, again, okay?
Yes, sir.
Is the JCNP represents the people.
No, it don't represent the people.
Wait, what people?
It don't. No,
you got to pause. No.
Producer, press people. Which people?
They represent. No. You got to correct your statement.
Producer.
No.
Producer.
No.
Okay.
The government represents.
Mute it for just a second.
Yuri,
That's it there?
No, hold on. Go ahead. Go ahead. Listen. Go ahead.
I will tell you a story. Okay? In the late 80s, the government attempted to move the Junction Parade from Bay Street to the Sports Center. And all the groups had gathered on Windsor Park, and they were going to arc out and turn on Windsor Lane and turn south and go to the Sports Center, right? All of the groups, spent about a half an hour having Junkanoo on the intersection of Windsor Lane and East Street. They could not turn left to go to the Sports Center. After a while, they turned right and they went to Bay Street. This is not a new problem. Okay? The government.
That's why the young people are saying it's not a new problem. Y'all have not been able to solve it while you hog up the power, while you insist and demand. Hold on, while y'all insist and demand the groups belong to y'all, the glory belong to y'all, the road belong to y'all, the decisions belong to y'all. And if we're going to use the Valley Boys as a reference from 1958, all y'all have done is shore up poorly constructed plantations as they continually fall apart.
Erin,
and then you're telling us that we have nothing to say.
You keep using the same words. You keep using the same rhetoric. Okay? This is beyond plantation.
It is beyond plantation. It's worse than the plantation. Because foreigners is taking and put you on a plantation. Your own people in your own community are treating the group members like chattel, like capital, for glory and power and privilege to be derived from, without any acknowledgement of their value.
If the power belongs to the people, right? It's up to the people to make those changes. All changes come from the people, from the ground up.
That's what the way forward in the Valley Boys are saying. But the other faction is saying, shut up, sit down, we don't need to acknowledge y'all. Show up with your money and your time or go somewhere else.
If that is what the Valley Boys are saying, right, we should allow them to sort this problem out.
That's right. And the JCNP should allow them to sort it out.
But the past 3 days, you and CA have been pushing this conversation in a particular way.
Me?
Okay?
No, hold on. Pause. In the past,
no,
sir, so don't tell me no.
No. Okay.
I want you to understand where my finger is right now.
Speak.
It's on the button. Don't tell me no on my own show. Okay? Let's start there.
Even if you're wrong?
Pardon?
Even if you're wrong?
Sir, you think we on Bay Street. That's what happened. Sir, you're not even listening. Okay? Calm down. Again, from 1958 Y'all own this thing. And here we are. Like you said, these problems been happening for forever. And y'all still ain't figured it out yet. And the only legacy y'all are going to leave us is the continuation of the gang culture that has permeated every institution in the country. Okay. And now the leaders are saying this is how it's done. This is how we do things on the plantation. Get used to it or go find somewhere else to live. See, but this is
and when
culture.
You use the term y'all, you are referring to the valley, right?
I'm referring to the Junkanoo community.
No. You said 1958.
That's a good reference point.
No. Only the Valley Boys have that reference point. Okay, so you can't say y'all.
What group you rush with? Just before I go, what group you rush with?
One family.
And what group one family came out of?
The Saxons.
And how old is the Saxons?
Angel.
How old? How close to 1958? How close to 1958 is it? Is it 1960?
No.
Is it 1964?
It's at least a decade.
And okay, so now 1958 to 1968 versus 2024. You cannot distinguish yourself in that way from them. Okay, you can't.
Well, I know that. Okay, our group has the same program as the Prodigal Sons. We go into our communities and we make our presence felt in the after-school programs, art programs. Now I don't know if all the groups can claim that, and they probably can. Okay, see, we are not a token group. Okay, our Junkanoo, our highlight is probably Boxing Day and New Year's. But in the year, Arlene Ferguson and Silbert, they are in the community doing what we are supposed to be doing. You see?
Okay. See, that's enough. I gotta go, caller. I gotta go. I would like to thank you. Okay. Because I was waiting for you to say, child, you can't tell me I can't say no. But I want to thank you very much, okay?
Okay, have a good day.
See, it still boils down where the Junkanoos are saying own Junkanoo.
I want to know.
The spectators are just spectators.
Who telling me the Junkanoo supposed to be a community support activity? See, here's my thing. Y'all don't have Junkanoo. Watch what happen. All the spirits gonna let loose. You need Junkanoo. That's what is capture the spirits when they let loose. You don't have Junkanoo. See what gonna happen.
The idea is
ain't nobody could.
Spectators have their role. The Junkanoos have their role. And the Junkanoo leaders has checked the government. Be playing checkers, or not checkers, chess, has now checked the government, the Attorney General and the Office of the Prime Minister, and saying, we hear you. We ain't gonna boycott. We just plan to ignore you. Because this Junkanoo thing belongs to us. We plan to have them show up, right? And just ignore all the protocols and all those threats with no sponsoring. We just plan not to judge them at all. Listen, let's go to the next caller and then
I got some text here say, according to The Guardian, Mario Boleg made this announcement that the way forward will be an exhibition group.
When this was? I know, but let's go to the next caller.
That's what I don't know where the people say.
I'm not sure where the texter got that from. They never said that. Yeah, the texter make that up. Let's go right, caller.
Good morning, Erin and CA.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm pretty good, Erin. Tell me something, man.
Mm-hmm.
I've been around Junkanoo for quite some time. I've seen roots broke away from the Valley. They became roots. One family, from Saxon, even Scrap. The Prodigal Sons, they came out from the Valley. Mm-hmm. How difficult it is for this new group.
You could answer it first and then I can answer it.
To pick up a new name and just move on. How difficult is that?
Let me explain this. They do not want to be another group. They saying there's only one Valley. They want to have an election.
They want a different leadership structure.
Different leadership structure.
That's it.
They don't want to ever leave Valley.
Okay,
the other groups, what you called before.
Fine.
Hold on, let me finish yet. The other groups that you called before wanted to leave their group and start a new one.
Now, and
these people want to stay there.
Here's the irony,
and have an election.
Cousin, here's the irony. right? Look at Bahamian life. Look at the familial life. In a place where we tell young men you can't be man unless you turn your own key, in a place where it's almost impossible for young people to get a mortgage or buy land in a decent area, right? Think about it. Let's look at the culture as it replicates itself in every institution. This is what we do with our children, right? We tell them, oh, you don't like how I do things, how I think, how I treat you? Well, then go find a different family, go find a different last name, go start your own kingdom. Because you cannot be a part of this family unless you understand that you are subject to my rule. See, that's why these conversations are so important. That's not because, not because I want to beat up on the prodigal sons or the valley, or I want to imagine myself to be a part of my own culture. But because the conversations give us an opportunity for real exploration and critical interrogation of who we are and what we're doing and why we're doing it, and if we even understand what is motivating our behaviors. That's why these conversations are so important. Because the way that the Junkanoo groups are treating its members are the same way that Bahamians treat their children and then wonder why the children don't come talk to them. The children don't come get them out of the hospital. The children abandon them in the old folks' home. And y'all are replicating and normalizing this behavior and entrenching and trying to imagine it into our historic culture.
But you said something, Erin, and this thing, see, Junkanoo, as far as I'm aware of, Junkanoo is still a public nuisance on the book. That's what the white man described Junkanoo as. And I strongly believe no one was able to change it. It's still a public nuisance. So I expect this type of behavior to be coming from Junkanoo. But if
So
I
this
were,
just in.
if
Sorry.
If I were in charge.
No. I think it's Patrick. This just in.
Oh, breaking news.
The way forward, Junkanoo group just conceded and said they will rush as a.
Pause. Caller, give me a second. Hold on. Give me a second. See what's happening here? All these people say, oh, Junkanoo belong to the people. I talking to the Way Forward group too. A lot of people felt like maybe I was biased towards the Way Forward group. But I talked to the Way Forward group because they came on the show. The other faction refused to talk. But see, this is the problem. They cause a problem that affects all of us, and they think they could solve the problem that affects all of us without us. You see what I'm saying?
Right. But Erin, what was that breaking news? I didn't hear that.
So the Way Forward faction of the Valley Boys, because again, they didn't want to split, has conceded to the JCNP and their decision. And producer can just nod your head if I'm wrong. They will be rushing in the fun group, in the F group? Or will they be rushing in the A group lineup but just not being judged?
Well, that's what's supposed to have been done, you see, because I remember when Genesis came out, Genesis rushed with colors.
Yeah,
that's two separate groups.
Yeah, but they politics, man. See, the point is, if we allow them to solve the problem with the same tools that created the problem, the question is, have we actually solved the problem?
No, we haven't solved the problem, but Erin, now, what is going to happen to that seed money?
There was an issue.
They already got it.
The minister indicated that it would be allocated, but it was never actually transferred.
But now we must ask the question.
They don't need all that money. They don't need all that money to rush in a fund group, eh?
That's true. They
cannot
get that money.
But the thing I was supposed to say was, before they made this decision, I was supposed to say that if I were in charge of it, none would have been rushing until they were able to sort out their differences, because Junkanoo was much bigger than the Valley fiasco. We have many other groups who would have put in the time and the money and the effort who want to be down there on Bay Street. That's basically what I would have done, but I wouldn't have accommodated. See, the JCNP seems to me, I thought they were like the commissioner of Major League Baseball or the commissioner of the NBA. They're supposed to set the rules and the guidelines, not the groups. We have this thing back in front. The JCNP is supposed to be the steering committee.
The JCNP is a group.
But the JCNP is made up of representatives from the groups.
Yeah, you have the Players Association in basketball and baseball. What's the point? Not because they're made up of them, they should be the final say, because it will always have this confusion. You need to have an oversight body to oversee these type of things to correct these things.
You don't hear these people telling you and telling us they own it, they gonna police it, they gonna tell us what they expect.
Just like the taxi drivers, you hear them talk, they'll say, "Oh, we own the industry. We own the industry."
Hold on, not just that, they can tell you they own the roads, and it look like they telling us they own the police because listen, 8 out of 10 taxi drivers run the red light at Mackey and Shirley, turning right on red.
Because they own the industry. When the tourists come in town, they let you know, these are my tourists. Not knowing that, Erin, that's another thing you're going to talk about. I'm the function of these things, because if a taxi driver, when these ships come into the country, right, not shifting your conversation, but when these ships come into the country, I don't see the captain saying, now all you all give us a commission, but they allow us to interact with these people, hoping that we are mature enough to know our role. For example, if I'm in the food industry, that's basically what I provide. If I'm in the transportation, I provide. But I
got to go, caller.
Them.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
We will continue this conversation on the other side of the show. So if you're holding on, there's no need to hang up, or you can call back shortly.
You notice that? What you hear in the background?
Junkanoo music.
Yeah, that Junkanoo music? See, a decision, I looking at my producer dead hard right now. He ain't play me no Junkanoo music this morning. Mm-hmm. And then we read that decision, there's lone Junkanoo music in the air.
But I still want to know who owns the Junkanoo parade, because it's Junkanoos are saying they own it and government has no say. You know, Bahamian people and who are...
You know who own Bay Street?
Go ahead.
I own Bay Street. Let them have the parade without a Bay Street.
The call already said they're willing to block it off. They'll protest.
Who?
Okay,
the Bahamian people on the next side of the highway. Anyway, thank you for all the callers, all the texters. Again, when the Junkanoos ask why all of these other people talking about our business, because it is our culture, and these conversations can help us, right, navigate a rapidly changing Bahamas. Y'all stay tuned. Guardian Radio AM with C.A. Nuri is up next.
You try to rest, roll with the best. For all your printing needs, there ain't no one better, no. For posters and banners, magazines and flyers, for window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. No job too big and there's no job too small. You name it, we can print it, just give us a call. Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361. Junkanoo and Jingle Bells are coming down Bay as hundreds of Santas will participate in Junkanoo Jingle to Bay 5K, the Christmas run for a good cause, Saturday, December 14th at 6 a.m. at Arawak Key. Form a team and register your pups to walk, run, roll, and rush to the Junkanoo Bee. Thanks to our sponsors, Nassau Paradise Island Promotion Board, Guardian Radio, Nassau Agency Limited, Healthwise, Alpha Sounds, Duncan, Electronic Media, BWA, Thompson Trading, and Caribbean Bottling Company. JJ to Bay 5K, Saturday, December 14th. Register today at fourseasonsracemanagement.com.
Then they say, Lumpkin, the customers love the red suit. You think you can heist them pounds something a little more? We need to see more socks. But before you go, look at, I got some specials going on for the sale. I got 2 sets of 12 by 12 and 4 sets of 18 by 18 tile. Now the 12 by 12 Al Blanco is just that, Al Blanco. That and the peach and gray Alcala going for $2.15 a square foot. Now I got 3 18 by 18 flagstone style and a high gloss gray and beige tile for $2.03 a square foot. What you doing, Lumpkin? I'm looking for one pin. Sale ends December 21st.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.